So the first one, let's talk about the lats. These are the big, wide muscles of the back. They're the biggest muscles of the back. And I remember learning that they were the biggest muscles of the body. Then I've heard people say it's the glutes. Nonetheless, it's up there. It's one of the largest muscles of the body. And it's the wings part.
Yeah.
It's the wings part of the back. It's actually the widest muscles of the body. Now, what they're largely responsible for, because the lats, if you look at the lats from the back, you'll see that they kind of attach along the spine. Then they kind of come up and they fan out, and then they kind of pinch in and attach in the humerus, right? In this kind of upper arm area. And what they essentially do is adduct the humerus or bring the arms in towards your body or from up top down towards your body. So a pull up, a pull down, a row, those exercises are going to work those big, meaty parts of the back known as the lats. And then aesthetically speaking, developing your lats gives you this really nice posture look. By the way, the lats are also involved in posture. A lot of people don't realize this, but the lats are involved in some way to stabilize the spine. And believe it or not, the lats also help a little bit with respiration, as do most of the muscles of the back.
Favorite exercises, lat pull downs, pull ups?
I would have to say for a pure lat exercise, it's got to be pull ups.
Yeah, weighted pull ups.
Yeah,
if you can.
It's got to be pull ups. And there, people ask like, what's better? Like wide grip, close grip. I would say for most people, a relatively like a moderate grip, so not too narrow, not too wide, is probably appropriate for most people. But then as you become more advanced, you can find that different grips tend to work the muscles a little bit different.
Oh yeah, I would make the case that there's tremendous value in varying up the grips. Like,
for sure.
I try when if pull-ups, which they have been in my routine actually pretty consistently for a while now. And I think a lot of that has to do with having a home gym, right? I don't have a lat pull down machine. I don't have a lot of different exercises. I have just the basic stuff. And since pull up is one of the best things I can do for my lats, it's a staple right now. But I love that the PRX has all the different
grips.
Yeah, so I'll go through a kick where I'm like, all the pull-ups are neutral, all of them are kind of a wide grip, some are going to be a supinated grip, and they all attack the back in a slightly different way, and just the slight novelty of positioning the wrist and elbows in a different position hits the back different. So if I catch myself pulling up the same way and it's been a while, it's like that. It's just naturally I'll change it up.
It's a nice change up of stimulus. And one thing I've found too that not a lot of people probably do, I've seen it done a few times. I'm always a big proponent of rotation, and so trying to mimic that kind of spiraling line in a press, but now using that as a single arm pull, lat pull down too. I love doing those as well, just to sort of counter that same movement and bring kind of control and stability there to help the shoulder kind of really stay healthy and packed in place.
I like that. And you're going to get some interesting bicep activation with that while you're turning the hand. And it hits kind of all those different motions. I just change the grips up a lot is what I like to do. I would say a wide grip requires definitely more strength and more shoulder stability, because so the risk of injury goes up higher, whereas a more narrow grip tends to be a little bit safer.
Like neutral. I think neutral will probably feel the most comfortable for the
where your hands are facing each other.
Yes,
I would totally agree.
Probably the most comfortable for someone to
totally. And rows also hit the lats quite a bit. It's just not as direct of a lat exercise, and rows hit more of the mid back.
Yeah, I'd put rhomboids and traps in that.
Right, and so let's get to that. Right, so let's talk.
Before you get to that, I want to say something that Justin just like lightly said, and I think this was I want to try why we go through this whole masterclass to share things that like were like, I don't know, either pivotal moments in our training, like in talking about the lats. He said weighted pull-ups. For a long time, I understood the value of pull-ups, and I just did body weight. And as I got stronger, I just did more reps. It wasn't really until we started training together, and I didn't start training the single, the double, the triple, even like anything under five by five, just never hit my routine. And so it never dawned on me why I would do 3 pull-ups. And so I just never did that. And that didn't happen until later. And I saw huge benefits from loading pull-ups really heavy and just doing 2 or 3
Treating it like a true strength exercise.
Yes.
Yeah. Instead of muscle endurance.
It was always muscle endurance. It was like, oh, I haven't done pull-ups in a while. Let's get back to pull-ups. And of course, if you haven't done them in a while, sometimes like 5 to 10 is hard. And then I'd work my way all the way up to where I'm repping out 20 plus. And then it was like, oh, then I let it fall out of my routine and then I come back. It wasn't until way later in my lifting career that I actually, when I progress in pull-ups, to think, oh, now I'm getting up to 12, 15 reps. Instead of me just keep progressing on reps, how about I load this sucker and do 5 of these or 3 of these? And I saw huge development in my back by doing that. So I just want to point that out.
So I did weighted pull-ups pretty early because I read an article by Jack LaLanne. And Jack LaLanne at one point, I think it was 50, he set the world record for push-ups and pull-ups. And they said, well, what are some of your secrets to being able to do so? I think he did 1,000, if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 push-ups.
He did. He actually had the record before David Goggins and then Mike Castle.
Mike McCastle, yeah.
And it held forever. Again, he was 50 years old, pretty remarkable. And he said, oh, heavy bench presses and weighted pull-ups. And everybody was like, what? And so he saw that heavy bench presses got him better at push-ups, and weighted pull-ups got him better at doing lots of reps of pull-ups. And so I started doing this. I would put a dumbbell between my legs and do 2 or 3 reps. And it's one of the best exercises to do weighted. A lot of people don't know that. And some exercises lend themselves better to low reps and heavy
I
weight.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, as a trainer and knowing the value of pull-ups, I neglected that. And by the way, even if you were going to train, I would use that tactic even when I was going to do high rep, because for the post-activation potentiation, the value from it, right?
So I go heavy.
I'd go one or 2 reps real quick, heavy weighted, and then I go high reps, and you'll see how easy the reps are after you do one set of really heavy. It's mind-boggling. So such a hack, right, for getting good at pull-ups and building a strong back and good lats.
Totally.